Welcome to If I Can Be Frank with your dedicated life coach host, Tish Franklin. I am here with my co host who was with me in my very first episode, Marquise Robinson. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me back. It's good to be back.
All right. So I thought this evening it would be great to kind of just get in or let the audience kind of know us a little bit more on a personal level. There were some questions that were submitted in, and I was able to kind of narrow down. We kind of went through this list and picked out some fun ones that we can chat about tonight. So again, people can get to know us a little bit more. As a lot of the show has been focused on other folks. I thought this would be a nice breakup um, to know your hosts. Cool. So we have some interesting questions for each other. Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
Oh, you go first. You go ahead. You shut it off.
All right. So if you don't know the game, 21 questions, it's like you ask a person or you ask a group like various questions. They could be random. They could be focused on relationships, love, stuff like that. And so you just go through the list and kind of learn about somebody. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of play that tonight. So my first question to you, Mr. Marquise, is, and since we're thinking about relationships here,
right?
If I had a conversation with an ex of yours, or even your current partner, what would they say about you?
What would they say about me? Let's see. I think that one of the things they would definitely say that obviously funny guy, passionate guy, and very committed.
All good things.
Oh, we're doing the negatives?
I'm just, I was keeping it real.
But no, let's keep it. If we keeping it real, I'm definitely not abusive or anything like that. But obviously I can be aggressive, and not in terms of physically or anything like that. Just when my viewpoint, I guess, is more so not aggressive. That's the wrong word, not aggressive. Let's back that up before callers start calling in. Get them off the tag. But no, I will say I can be stubborn. Okay. I can be very stubborn, stuck in my ways. So yeah, for sure. Okay. For sure.
You want me to answer it? Oh, okay.
You got, yeah.
Let's see. If you were to call one of my exes, I would say similar to you, kind of stuck in my ways. I think I know who I am and what I want out of situations. Mm-hmm. And I stay me to a fault at times in the past, I would say. So definitely I'm spoiled. I guess that's the best way to put it. I'm spoiled.
In some instances, I would think that's okay. I think a lot of times the spoiled tag get a bad reputation, but I think that if it's a healthy relationship, your woman should feel spoiled.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So, but I'm gonna ask you this though, kind of switch up. I'm gonna ask you this because a lot of times we ask something that an ex would say, like you asked a question, what would they say about you? Even though they would say those things, do you feel those are areas of opportunity that do we need to change them, or does everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I've had arguments where, or I don't want to say arguments, but like conversations with folks that say, oh, well, you do this or you don't take in consideration my feelings or my emotions, or I really wasn't for a long time sensitive to how people felt.
Right.
I even told my ex-husband one day, I don't need to know all your feelings. You can keep some of that to yourself. Like, it was just, it's too much to be at sometimes where it's just, I don't need to know everything. I don't share everything that bothers me. Sometimes it just roll with it because that's the person. But like, I just felt like he was a little too expressive at times. So I have learned through my children, being a mother, to be very open to hearing how I make people feel. And then now that's more important to me, of like, okay, if I need to show up different, I'll work on it.
Right. Okay, okay. I think the only reason why I asked, I think a lot of the times we get in situations where we can give a laundry list, or even that, like what you were saying about your ex, and people are now. It's like we go through this thing in society, relationship where the pendulum swings, and now you saying be more expressive and all that, or even like men don't open up, and then it gets to the point like, whoa, brother, you done bust down the Hoover Dam, and it's like certain things that there are certain expectations that you will expect from your husband, and rightfully so you should, that you're like,
Mhm.
baby, I really just need you to handle that. I want to know about the real pertinent information, but there's certain
Yeah.
things as my husband, I just want to let you know, I just need you to handle that. And
Yes.
I stand on that. I
Yeah.
really believe in that. I'm very I like the progression we've made with uh I guess I don't know if this lines up with like mental health, but I like the progression we've made in society and men opening up and all that. But there's certain things that I'm just not. I'm a firm believer in this. I'll sum it up like this. I always used to say there's a thin line between I need to work on that and it is what it is. And I'm
Yes.
not just for everybody.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
if you're constantly changing for everybody, where do you find yourself? At some point you lose yourself.
Right.
And I think that's very important in our quest to please others.
Yeah.
Numero uno, we should be pleasing ourselves. I think a antidote of selfishness should be in there. I think a healthy line of
Yeah.
selfishness should be in there.
I feel like foundationally I am who I am.
Right.
But, I will adjust as
Right.
long as it doesn't change who I am or you try to change who I am foundationally. Like those core beliefs, values of my structure,
Right.
spirit, so like
Yeah.
personality is not going anywhere, but I can pivot. I can, just it's just like going to work. You change a little bit to
Right.
deal
Right.
with
Right.
that crowd and I feel like at home, I'm not saying don't be yourself, but I do try to be more mindful of how I come off in interactions with anybody, but especially in a relationship.
For sure. And I'm definitely not trying to put out there just totally be bullheaded and stubborn, but at the same time, I think, and I think that goes back to our original time when we first, the first show, and we were talking about a piece of self awareness. And I
Yeah.
think that comes with the self awareness where you can have an internal conversation with yourself, self preservation. You look at yourself, and you have to go through the thing and realize, is this a me thing or is that just a
Mhm.
them thing? And then
Mhm.
now you're
Ooh, I
starting
I
to,
love those questions.
you
I
know
ask
what I'm saying?
myself that all the time. Yes.
You
Is
know,
it
that's what,
me or is it you? Yeah.
is it me or
Yep.
is it you? And I
Yep.
think especially if it depending on, so like even asking that question, you got it in phases 20, 30. Now we're both, I'm not going to say a woman's age, but we're at this age where we are now. And
Wise.
so where we're at right now, I'm thinking that we have to come to grips with certain things that we are who we are. And I think we need to just seek to be the best version of who we are and not trying to mimic. We can be inspired or by somebody's growth, but that doesn't necessarily mean I need to mimic that behavior. I need to take that process that you got to where you're at and use it in my life. But I'm a firm believer on that. Like I'm not just gonna, yeah.
So I know you're supposed to ask the second question, but I kind of have a follow up.
Come
So
back, come back.
my other question was,
Yeah.
do you know what your toxic trait is?
Do I know? I here's the thing. Yes, because
Hmm.
we were talking about, and I think that both of us did a lot of work, especially with our referencing back to our first episode, and we dove into that. And our off the air conversations have shown we got a pretty solid self awareness piece. I guess it's more so just trying to articulate it. But if I had my toxic, how would I think this, I would say I'll say it like this. For a long time, I never believed in compromise.
Mm,
Never believed in compromise. I was always a win-win guy. I come from a sales environment, and in the sales environment, it's win-win, win-win.
right.
The first person to compromise, you lose. You start getting inundated with these kind of principles, whether they're right or wrong. They are what they are, and that's how I used to live by it. So I think that one of my toxic traits, I don't know if it'll be a toxic trait, but one of the things that I know could be Achilles for me is I overthink. And since I overthink, I will sometimes plug in your thoughts without even having a conversation with you. And I will
Mm-hmm.
come to a conclusion. This
Yeah.
is I've grown, but I'll come to a conclusion through my adaptation of what I'm thinking that you would do, and then that's now I'm coming to you as if I had this long conversation with you, and it was just with myself.
Yeah.
So I think that that
That
was
would
one of the
irritate
things.
me.
Yeah, and now then you come to realize at some point because you're because a lot of times what everybody's saying now, kids, I'm standing on business, I'm standing on business. So it was like I'm standing on the fact, oh, if you're mad, that's a you thing. But then eventually, as you start to evolve and you start to mature, you start thinking, okay, let's go back to these basic fundamentals of like what they say math, like common denominator. I got all these issues. Like I'm not gonna pick on her, but like even with the the interview and all these people going crazy, not gonna give them no shots out. But you're seeing these crazy interviews and you're constantly seeing these people complaining about something in these different situations, and you're like, there's a common denominator.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was the reality check for me. Like, okay, Keith, you keep finding yourself in these situations. So at some point we gotta look at it and say, maybe it's you, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Toxic trait for me. I feel like I have three things that I have worked on in the past. I won't say they're prevalent now,
Right,
but
right, right.
sometimes when I feel them creep up, I'm like, all right. Um, so I'm a Scorpio. Put that disclaimer out
Well,
there.
that just shut it down. We just already know. I'm just kidding.
So tendency to be jealous, possessive, are two ones I think I dealt with a lot in like my 20s. And now I just roll with it. Even in my marriage, I was like, I'm not gonna search phones. I'm not gonna do all those things. Like, if you doing something, it's gonna come to light eventually.
Right.
So, um, yeah, some self control there, and then I also feel like I can lean towards having like an addictive personality when it comes to something I like.
Right.
So, just being more mindful of like how much energy I'm putting into situations or people or things like that. So, or
Yeah.
energy, activities,
So
things like.
let me ask you this. It's a term that I recently were introduced to. I knew of it, but I never knew that it had a term. This thing called love bombing. Is that have you
I don't love mom, and I
okay?
haven't
That's why I was
experienced
trying
that.
to get
Yeah,
clarity.
yeah.
That's not what you're talking about.
No,
Okay,
that's not
okay,
what I'm
cool,
talking
cool,
about.
cool, 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 cool.
I won't elaborate on just stuff that I enjoy doing. Okay, but not love bombing. No.
All right.
All right, your turn. I asked two questions.
I'm gonna get okay. All right. Let's see. Let's see. You know what? I wanna dive into this one. I thought this was a very good one. Do you believe in love at first sight? And if so, why
Okay.
or why not?
Um, I believe in attraction at love at first sight.
Yeah.
I feel like through that you can have an intense draw to somebody energetically at first sight or first interaction. I'll say that first interaction. I don't think you can love somebody at first sight. I feel like you can fall for somebody quickly. That does happen.
Yep.
Yeah, but I feel like that's more again an energetic type of connection versus love.
Right.
I think love is more, it's a very multi-layered word.
Yeah.
And so to actually love somebody, you gotta really know who they are.
Right.
And
Right.
being it's twofold because you gotta know who they are and then you gotta be willing to still love them through everything.
Once you finally know them,
Yeah.
because it's easy to love when you're filling in the gaps with
Mhm.
when it's blank information. But
Right.
once you start putting that information there, do you still love them?
Now we kind of talked about this yesterday. So
Yeah.
we were counting how many times we said I love you to each other. And your list was love you to someone else.
Yeah.
Your list was minimum.
Yeah.
And so when you gave out your number, I was like, dang, I'm still counting. Like,
Right.
so I will say, like, I've used that term a few times. But again, I think it was more so based off that really strong energetic connection that I had with someone,
Mhm.
whether it was 3 weeks to, 5 years.
Right.
Um, and in the same respect, it was reciprocated.
Right. Right. So like and here and I get my second question kind of aligns with this one. And I know me and you we had this conversation and we never ever many conversations we've had, we never dived into this one to its in depth. But I'm gonna answer the love at first sight. I honestly at this stage of my life and me what I believe love is, I just don't think that's possible. I
Mm-hmm.
think you can have the remnants of love and the feelings of love and but I don't think it's possible because I think love will require at least this kind of love. I understand the different levels of love, but this romantic or whatever, I don't know what the term is. I know you got the whatever the different loves are, but the romantic love that partners will have, I just think there's too much knowledge or too much information that you would need to make that determination. And I'm under the belief that love is mine to give. It ain't just something that's
Mm-hmm.
somebody's, what would you call that? Somebody is entitled to.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, we're going to throw out signs. You're Scorpio, I'm a Libra. I love hard, I love deep. So therefore, I'm going to be very, very uh what would you call it? I don't want to say apprehensive, but I'm gonna be I'm gonna take my time to get to that point. But once I'm there, I'm there. I'm a lifelong type person. So once I'm there, I'm there. I got so much value on what love is to where I don't think I can be able to come up with have that within the first because this is what happens. Now, just to back, I'm gonna say that to kind of update that, I will say I think people do fall in love. So I will answer it like this. I don't believe in it, meaning that not that it can't happen. I don't believe in it like it's a bad practice. I guess I should premise it like
Mm-hmm.
that. It's a bad practice, meaning that you can come in and give a person those love, what will you call love benefits,
Mm-hmm.
and you will say, "Hey, I love this person," without having a knowledge of that person. And it's not necessarily you're going to come to find out that they're a bad person. You're just going to come to find out they're not good for you.
Right.
So they're not good for you, and then now you didn't invested this love into them, and now you're trying to backtrack and peel it back. And for me, once I love you, it's hard to peel that back.
Mm.
It's hard to pull that back. So why would I, without the necessary knowledge, invest that in you
Right.
and then come to find out,
See,
and I
I'm
understand.
opposite. I pull myself right back and keep on moving. No.
So I mean, I need to go. I could come with the second. I'm gonna come with my second question, which kind of aligns with that. What are your top 5 things you need in a partner?
Ugh.
And I'm gonna show how that ties into my first question. So let me see.
God, top 5. Uh, Stability.
Mhm.
Um, Someone's ambitious. Um, Kind of like that leader, protector role. Mm, Someone who is emotionally intelligent.
Can I put that? I'm gonna add while you're answering that, not to cut you off, but I want to make premise of how my first question ties in that one.
Okay.
Remember we were saying before, and I guess this will be in lines with this one. Remember you every time I say this, you roll your eyes hard. I say, man, love ain't even my top 5. And when I say things that when I on relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess this is my opportunity to bring context to that statement.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So like you're saying, like so prime example, you can learn to love a person,
Mm-hmm.
but just like you're listed those 5 things, those are I
I
don't
didn't
want
get
to
to
say
5 yet,
go
but go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I got to 4. You made me forget what I was there.
And maybe it's 4. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if there is 5.
Um, I would say probably my top 6 because I was gonna say I forgot my 5th one is, but because again, emotional intelligent, but I'm really big on, yeah, actually it is like intimacy of a relationship. So what that looks like with me and that person, how we're building our relationship. So let's take a break before we get in a little bit deeper in this love at first sight. Marcus and I, my co-host for this evening, we're playing a little game of 21 questions, and I think we only got through 4. So, but these are great questions. So
Right.
we were just talking about love at first sight, and then also the top 5 traits we look for in a
So
partner.
what are the top 5 things you need in your need from your partner?
Need from your partner. Okay.
Yeah. So like,
what are yours?
mine would be, I definitely need femininity. I need a feminine woman. I need an inspirational woman, one that can give me when I'm down. Just give me that. I need her. I do like some level of it. I got to be some level of attraction.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't say supportive, and I need a strong nurturer.
Okay.
I mean, a person that's going to be strong in nurture, and that I can and have very trustworthy qualities. I need a person I can trust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I feel like that's such a hard question though. Like to narrow down
it is.
all the characteristics or traits you look for in 5. Like
It is.
my list is probably like 10. It's not that bad, but it's
not-
probably a
but
solid
then,
10.
So then I guess the question would be like, it's certain things that you strongly would desire, but
Mhm.
then how I answer it is, these are the things I can't. If I don't have these, there's no deal.
Yeah.
The deal breaker.
Mhm.
I guess that's the thing that we can highlight it using another sales term. This is the deal breaker.
Okay.
And so that's why when we say love at first sight, and I remember we talked before, and I was just saying that, man, when I in a relationship, that's not going to be at the top of my list in terms of my importance in a relationship.
Mhm.
I think there's so many other things, because I honestly believe the love is already present. If you're a loving person, the love is already present. Now, if you're going to determine to give that to a person, I have to see these things and these certain characteristics, and then it's going to be like, I'm finna give you that love. And then I guess in terms of love, just to simplify it, I'm gonna give you my heart. I'm really gonna open up to you. I'm really gonna let you into this that soft space that men have that we guard. I'm gonna let you into that space.
Right.
So, but I have to see these characteristics before I can give you that space, because it's dangerous if I don't.
And to see that, you have to spend time with the person.
I have to spend time with a person.
So yes, I the time piece is the biggest thing. And you had mentioned, your ideal first date or your ideal date is spending the entire day with somebody.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think of someone that I fell for quickly is because we were spending entire days together, like
Right.
right away.
Right.
And so it's like you start to see who that person is,
Absolutely.
how they interact with other people, how they interact with you, like quicker, I think, than going out
Absolutely.
for an hour or two here, come back a week later, you know what I mean, going out and just
Right.
communicating via text or phone or whatever it is.
And that's even one, like, that's one of the questions that we had. I don't know if you're going to touch on that, but no, that I think that's why, like, even that, when I throw that out there, where you asked me yesterday, what is and you said ideal first date, and that's ideal first date to me is all day. It's literally an all day situation. If we could pull that off, if we can get together on to explain a perfect ideal date, it's Milwaukee, uh, Summerfest is in town. We pull up on a Sunday by noon. Maybe we go grab something to eat right in that neck of the woods. Grab something to eat. Go to Summerfest, and we kick it at Summerfest. We leave Summerfest. We go hit up a bar, have a couple drinks. We're talking. Leave there. Maybe it's a nightcap, a little lounge or something. And I think that now you get to see people, like you said, in these different elements. It's only so long you can put on. I honestly believe we go
So
somewhere, have dinner.
You can't date an introvert because they don't want to do all that.
But we'll know that. But
Right.
that's why I'm saying. So we get to kicking it, and then I know right then and there, that first date, it's no need for me to, try to double back on this one, because I can tell already. I can see this is not going to work, and that's not to say you're bad. You're just not good for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah,
I love that, and this is the second time you said that too, because that is something that I have. I think a lot of women, we try to find like the hope in potential relationships, and there's this guilt that when you're dating, it's like, oh, this guy is a good guy, but he's just not right for me, and it's like, we're supposed to settle for just because he's a good guy versus going for what's right for us.
Absolutely.
So don't do that. Don't settle. Was that whose turn is it? It's my turn.
Nah,
your
turn.
You.
Okay.
Okay.
I got two. I asked mine too.
All right. So what question do I want to ask next? Okay. So do you know what your love language is?
I'm familiar with the term. I'm familiar with the breakdown. I would say, just to get clarification, because this is a question. So people say love, they say your love language. Are we saying in ways that I show love or ways that I want to receive love?
So love language is basically the way that you want to receive love. And there are a few categories. So there's, there's acts of service, right? So you appreciate somebody doing for you. Yeah. There's communication, like words of affirmation, like you want positive communication from that person, that I love you, that I miss you type stuff. There's quality time, physical touch. Maybe it's, PDA. And then
right. I think if just hearing that right out the gate, I definitely acts of service, if I'm being honest. But I think that in some way, form, or fashion, I kind of like them. I will want all of them in some respect. But I think
there's also gift giving.
Gift giving. Okay. But so I think in some respect I like them all. But if my more dominant one that I would like more would be would definitely be the acts of service. I definitely want show me, because I'm not from Missouri, but I'm show me state all day long. Show me, you know what I mean? If you could say whatever, we could talk all that. Show me, and I guess that's why that's why my stance on that love at first sight piece. Not to keep going back to that, but it's just too much at stake when it comes to love. I look at love, that's just that's like a gold nugget, and that's just too valuable. So I really need to see a person. You got to show me, man. You got to show me.
Yeah, I'm acts of service person. Very much in my partnerships, you got to help. You got to help. I'm for masculine energy and leading and all that stuff, but you still got to help the household. Right. It's a partnership,
Right.
And Mine are kind of tied. So there's an actual test. If you Google five love languages, you can take it for free
Okay.
and see what yours are. But um words matter to me now coming out of my divorce than before. So when I took this test prior to me being married, words were not that important.
Mm.
Um Now coming out, they are, and I won't get into why, but that and then tied with it's almost tied with quality time. So those are the big ones for me.
So with that, not for the five love language piece. So would it be safe to say that over time you can evolve to a different language,
Hmm.
or or I like to use the term bilingual or multilingual. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Because we're talking language and then communication. So I'm wondering, because I think what I wanted in my 20s, I think it's slightly different now that I'm in my 40s.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it probably would have been in my 20s, it probably would have been more of a I would say it probably would have been more quality time,
Hmm.
but that's just because you're just, you know, what they call it, honeymoon butterfly love, and you just want to be around the person all the time. And then now at this stage of my life, I like you, but I ain't gotta see you every day. I love you. And
Hmm.
I honestly love you. And I think that I'm a firm believer, and I used to joke about it, but now I truly embrace it. I honestly believe absence make the heart grow fonder.
Okay.
Let me miss you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
why I'm gone, you can take care of that. When you come back, hey, I took care of that. Because that's the way I speak. I speak in that language as well. If I'm dealing with a person, you're going to feel me in terms of you're going to feel me having your back. It's just not going to be a term. It's
Hmm.
just not going to be a statement. I'm going to hold you down. I live by those terms. I live by that statement. I'll hold you down. I got you. And when I say that, I'm serious. When I say that, that's in every aspect from car maintenance to financially, all these different things I'm in, and I'm going to show you with my service. So that's how I speak. That's how I speak. So yes, I would want that reciprocated.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm big on acts of service. That's always a great quality. Um, but I have my reasons, right?
Right.
Single parent, I have to do everything on my own.
Right. It's different. It's yeah.
It's nice to have help. All right, your turn. What's next?
I will let me jump into this one right here. I thought this one were what do you find most attractive about other people?
Ooh, um, of like the opposite sex, like what attracts me to people, or just people in
Let's
general.
see. Let's narrow it down. What do you find? Let's narrow it down to yes, opposite sex, a romantic a
Romantic potential.
possibility or a potential romantic person.
I have dated across the spectrum. Short, tall, different races. Um, but they have to have a good smile and good teeth. Um, I will say that for all of them.
Let me ask you this, because this now this got to be funny. Good smile, good teeth. Do they have to be their teeth?
Veneers be looking. I mean, like, I want nobody with dentures, but like,
Right. What if they permanent?
as long as they don't look thick,
Okay.
some of them be looking real big. Like,
Okay, so oral hygiene is important.
yes, oral hygiene is important.
Gotcha.
Um,
What about in terms of because that's very I don't want to make it seem like that. Yeah, physical. I think physical attraction. If people downplay it and it's they get all into that. I'm sorry, fam. If you're not, if I don't find any level of attraction to you, I don't give a crap how connected we could be.
yeah,
I gotta like you.
I think that's huge, and I've, I feel like my ex husband was not my type,
Mm-hmm.
and I see how that can play out in a relationship
Yeah.
where you look for other qualities
Right.
to love, and when it comes to, again, creating that intimacy, which is important to me,
Right.
is harder to do if you're not
Attracted to.
completely physically attracted to somebody.
Absolutely.
And so I'm big on, again, I don't it doesn't have to be, I mean, they have to be an attractive looking person,
Right.
like in my eyes, but
Absolutely.
that could look very different because I'm open to different people. But um yeah, I think the one thing that I'm kind of leaning towards is taller individuals.
Right. Right.
I
Right.
dated
Right.
short, but
Right. Right.
I
Right.
have
Right.
no, whatever. But I enjoy taller people, and then also again oral hygiene, and then the biggest thing is to me is energy. Like I am, uh, I just love it when people have like really great energy, and you
Right.
can
Right.
tell if people are good people or faking the energy or just
Right.
vibrating real low. Like so,
Yeah.
I am really big on like how do you show up in a room? Like okay,
Mm,
and that sometimes people show up and their energy is big, but it's not the way that I'm not saying it has to be big that I'm attracted to because I feel like some people energy they come in and they want to take up the room,
right.
and that's a turn off for me. So,
Right. 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 Right.
um, but what I mean is energy is like I can feel like this person is a good person.
Yeah. And they're confident in their skin
Yeah.
and in their role in their space. Yeah. No, I totally get that. I think that's important. I think so for on mine on that, I do have a different one, but just to kind of elaborate on yours, if we're talking about physicality and then like things like that, I do want a person that's health conscious, that's really in like I know the importance of being healthy, and
Hmm.
because and once again, I'm always thinking long term. And I'm always thinking long term, and I'm always thinking in terms of forever, and maybe that if we're gonna be together, I'm thinking that we're gonna be together, and I'm really finna try. I'm at least gonna give a concerted effort that we can make it the long haul, like we die together.
Hmm.
So, with that being said, I need you to be health conscious at our younger stages, so our winter years or our golden years, we can really kick it.
Right.
When we got kids are gone and all that, I don't want us to have to, you know what I'm saying? We can't go take a flight. We can't go do this. You got all these different things. And I understand that certain things happen in health, but at least be very conscious of what you can prevent and
Hmm.
be on top of the things you can prevent. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that is very going back to the physical side. So I do like a person that's very health conscious, fit, health conscious person. Uh and just aesthetically beautiful. You just got to be. You just have like, in all honesty, call it superficial if you want. And I say this, you got to be
Hmm.
fine. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
I love pretty, feminine, beautiful women.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
with that being said, it looks different. Like you're saying, that could look different, and I think it's you owning your lane. You
Yeah.
own your lane. Don't go try to get whatever to make yourself look like Beyonce. Be you, but just be the best version of you, the best
Hmm.
fit, beautiful version of you. We can make it happen because that confidence is gonna gleam out, and that's good. We're gonna rock. We're gonna rock.
Okay.
Also, I will say this too, and what I find attractive, I do my attraction is intelligence too. If I'm getting away from the physicality, I do like
Hmm.
I do have to deal with a pretty intelligent, smart woman.
Okay.
I
So
got,
that's not intimidating.
huh?
That's not intimidating to
Oh
you.
no, it's a requirement.
Mm.
Yeah, I can't have no dummy conversation. I don't like dummy conversation, and they're fun. I mean, we may have
No, they're
joking,
not fun. No.
we talk whatever, but when the rubber hit the road and we got some real situations, I need to know you got some something I could pull from. Like, I don't want to sit there and be having a conversation like this. No, dumb. And I can't do that.
Right.
I can't
Right.
do that. So I
Yes.
do. You got to have some level of intelligence.
Yeah.
You got to have some level of intelligence. Yeah,
Yes.
that's very attractive. What
I
they?
will. That is true. I will stop talking to people if they text me phonetically just horribly. Like
Yeah,
you know. Yeah.
even that.
Like even if they can't put a period and it's a
Right.
whole like where does
Grammar.
this?
I
Yes.
am not the best. By no means, I know I'm not the best. I
I'm
got
not
mine.
critiquing all, but I need to like know where the breaks are in the conversation. So
I don't want to. I don't want to have to text question marks
yeah.
back. Like, what the fuck
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What the heck are you talking about?
Right.
What do you know what I'm saying? What are you
Right.
talking about? And I want to. Yeah, I can't have that situation. So I think that my thing is, we talked about this the other day too, and I get your turn is I think I'm a sappy. I'm a, what they call it is it sapisexual. Like I love,
Oh, where you're attracted to intelligent people. Yeah.
yeah, and
Mhm.
conversation. Like if we a deep conversation, man, you could come in here, drop dead gorgeous, da 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 da. I'll be more attractive to you if you admit those are crimes. Beautiful person, walking feminine, and if we can, I'll be more attracted to your conversation than I would be your cleavage. And I'm being completely honest.
Mm. Okay.
Completely honest.
All right. Um, let's see. Would you rather
No, 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 no.
No, I'm not even gonna answer where is the most interesting place that you were intimate at? Get personal.
Interesting place.
Mhm.
Uh, I gotta put this. Sorry, baby. I'm apologizing because she's gonna hear this. Sorry, baby. uh, so I most interesting place I can't remember, and it's and not that I can remember. It's just that we went to these two places. I can't remember if it was either Jamaica or we were in the DR. I think we were in the DR. Went to the DR, yes, for sure, for wifey's birthday, and yeah, we got crazy on that balcony. We went to town on that balcony. And but then what made it so interesting is because how the resort we were on in the building, you the ocean is right there, and you just hearing this ocean,
Mhm.
and we may or may not been impaired. I'm not gonna confirm or deny. So we probably was either intoxicated or whatever. But yeah, we
Mhm.
had a good time on that balcony in the DR.
Nice.
Sorry, baby.
Um. Okay. Next question.
No, you gotta answer
Oh,
that.
I have to answer. Oh, okay. I think similar to yours on the beach, like at night. That is like super like romantic. I wish our beaches weren't closed, but I see why they closed them early. But yeah, that was
Actually,
great.
on the beach,
On the beach at night,
on the
waves,
sand.
starry night. Yeah,
Okay,
it's one for the memory books,
I'm trying. Okay, all right. That's actually pretty dope.
right?
That would be dope. That would be dope. You gotta, yeah. Okay, that would be dope.
I'm glad we wrapped up before the police came because they do walk those shores. So disclaimer:
Right.
anybody try to go out there.
Get wild with it.
So, oh wait, your turn. Go.
Question.
Yo.
Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. All right.
If you don't have one, I have one.
Go ahead. Let me see what you got. Let me see
All
what
right.
you got.
So thinking about your past um relationships, I would say what's your biggest lesson about just being with a romantic partner?
Uh, I'm gonna have to go. I'm going in the archives. I have to go back in the archives. But my biggest lesson, I think, just in general, even with my current situation, is you literally have to create. You. It's very important that you allow a person to be who they are.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's vitally important. You just allow a person to be who they are, and you're not trying to change them, or you're trying to, get them to conform to a certain way to fit your comfort level. Because the problem is, in the midst of changing, they may oblige, and they may change these different things. But that's from my experience, all it's going to do is frustrate you as the person that's trying to get the person to change, because
Right.
you're going to although aesthetically they're going to change. Say it's like, hey baby, I don't want you wearing da 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 this, that, and the third, or whatever the case may be. They may oblige, but the problem is you're now they have literally you're disconnecting them from who they are,
Mhm.
and you're just dealing with a shell of themselves,
Mhm.
because now they're because at this point in time it's just sitting here like, well, I you got to tell me what to do next then, because I can't. You're pretty much told me in essence my way of thinking is so wrong that I. So here, tell me, what should I be doing? And just allow a person to be who they are. Allow a person to be who they are and love them for who they are.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important that you do have those five. If those things are, if your core foundational things outside of love are met, when you come across certain things that you don't like, it allow you have to pause and just say that it's worth it, and then
Mhm.
you just a deal. But I honestly believe, let people be who they are. Just let them be who they are. Let people be who they are, and just let it go, and not try. Although I believe in forever love type thing, and I wanted that to be the case. Don't uh don't try to control the situation to the point where you trying to steer it. Just let them be what they are, and just let the chips fall where they may.
Mhm.
And I think that even if it's areas that you feel that they definitely need to change, bring it to their attention, highlight the benefits of it, why this probably would be a good idea, but demand it. I'm just saying this will be this, and this will be the benefit of that, and then allow them to do what they will with that information. And if they adjust to their way of adjusting, and it's something that's pleasing to you, it's a win-win at that point.
Yeah. I think I agree with that too. It's just allowing people to, like you said, be who they are, but it's making sure you're not asking them to show up different for you.
Right.
They got to be able to show up for you the way that they can. And when you ask them to do it differently, that's where a lot of the head button starts, right? Like where you can build resentment or break down someone's self-esteem or whatever it
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
because again, you're asking for something they're not capable of doing.
Right.
So um I agree with that one. I think for me, my biggest lesson was uh, really kind of just going against what my intuition was telling me. I'm
Hmm.
really big on listening to
Hmm.
yourself.
Hmm.
And so because of that, I think I put myself in situations that I knew deep down weren't for me, but I was like, oh, but because of these other reasons or these other important factors, I'm a go for it. I'm gonna try it. Um, and then also, yeah, I think that was my biggest lesson from relationships. It was
Yeah.
either like because I wanted to achieve this goal or like this
Right.
societal norm, I did
Right.
these
Yeah.
things
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
to be in these relationships, and it it just wasn't really what I really wanted.
Right.
Um, and so I think now moving forward, I do look at people for well who they are, how they show up,
Right.
is the way does the way they show up really vibe with the way I need them to show up for me and how I need to feel loved.
Right.
Um, and then also just again like intuitively I know what's right for myself. And then really using that logic to make those decisions. Like I said earlier, maybe you got to walk away from a good dude because it's just not your person, and
Right.
that's okay.
I, and just kind because and I was gonna we're gonna move on, but you said something, and I just think that that's so important that we can look at societal norms or structures as and they could be templates and blueprints or whatever the case may be, or reference points. It's this show. It's not about relationship, but it aligns. It's this show on Netflix. It's called How to Get Rich,
Mm,
and in that you would think he's talking about becoming multi-million, whatever the case may be. But he literally meets with couples, meet with single individuals, whatever. This guy, um, and he has you identify your rich life.
mhm,
What is rich to you?
mhm.
You know
I
what I
know what
mean?
show you're talking about. Yep.
That so with that, I love the show, one because he was giving good points on how to financially budget and all that. But I'm looking like, man, if we took that principle and applied it to every
Relationships. Yep.
relationships or every other dynamic of life, what is a successful relationship with you? You sitting here trying to chase such and such relationship, and you're not going to get that. You what now you may have a desire and chase the end goal of that love and that bond that they have, but your journey and your path to get there is going to be totally different.
Mhm.
It's going to be similar, and you can take a lot of nuggets from that, but I think you just need to identify your thing.
Yeah.
And I think that that's my evolution, or my evolve, or moment was just allowing that to be the case. And I think that at the end of the day, if you're going to have a rich, successful relationship, life, whatever the case is going to be, it ain't rich if it ain't you. And it's very important you allow a person to be who they are, so y'all can enjoy. You can enjoy it. What's the
Mhm.
point of having whatever millions and Tish, who your authentic self? It's not you. You can't enjoy it how you want to enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I think
Yep.
that that's very important, to just identify what your successful structured relationship is. I want like that. I love that connection that they got. However, I wanted to have it my way.
Right. All right. So I think that's a good point. I think with any type of coaching that you do or experience, that is a great visioning in the future of lifestyle is a good way to kind of pinpoint, if those two people match. So great conversation today. Got a
Yeah.
little spicy a little bit,
Yeah.
not too much. I can tell the Libra balancing act, what's going on in your thoughts and how smooth your answers were versus me, who I always got to be mysterious, so my answers are never fully thorough.
Right.
Um, but thank you for joining me today, and I can't wait
Absolutely.
to have you back in the future. So we will see everyone next week, Wednesday. I have another special guest coming on, and we're going to be talking about dating post divorce. Oh, you're listening to 860 AM, WNOV 106.5 FM. If I Can Be Frank, with your host, Tish Franklin.